Thank you for watching the Momentum Men's Ministry on demand page. Today we have a special topic called the Arctic Blast with a fellowship and a discussion. Enjoy.
Things that I learned are, hey, whenever we talk about frozen pipes, to actually, I figure out where my water valve is in my house, and that's like the most important thing in here. Never know. I had a house for 8 years, but I've learned to, turn that off, leave all the faucets on. That way, everything drains out, the night before a storm. So essentially, pipes can't burst if nothing's inside of it, right? So if the water isn't inside, it can't burst. So I know going forward that, hey, if it's a thunderstorm, whatever, I'm just going to turn off my valves, let everything drain out, put all the faucets up on high, let it drain out. And that way, it just can't burst because there's no water in there. So that's something I learned. Again, let's put it out there. Let's talk. Y'all were just talking before we hopped on. Ever you talking? You on mute, looks like.
Hey, Dewan, this is good brother Billups. I would say that something I learned, and I should have learned this long ago, but we always talk about having water in these situations as well. And so, from Harvey, I went and got gas cans for gas, but I could have also used those gas cans, the ones I haven't used before, to store some water just in case of emergency. So yeah, that was one of the things that I learned, that I make sure that I have some water put aside as well. Not just bottled water, but, some portable water to use just in case I run out of bottled water.
Amen. Man, that's a good one. Thank you for that. Let's
Hey
keep.
guys, this is Mike. One of my friends, elderly, member, elderly lady, you know what she did? Before it happened, she filled her whole bathtub up with water. Would you believe it? And I thought that was a good idea. And the last thing is that my neighbor, who's a plumber, he said, Mike, he said, that snow, take that snow well, the problem is I didn't have any, the fireplace not working, and then no electric, so that didn't work. But my neighbor water was running so good. I mean, a lot of pressure. He said, Mike, he said, you can use all you want. I said, you sure? He said, yeah, man, I'm going to tell you something. So God is good, and I still got a leak, but my neighbor's going to fix that. And but we're from the East Coast, and like I think the brother earlier said, my wife and I both learned we had to go back and reflect on how we survived on the East Coast when these things happen, But still, bottom line, cold is cold, and we thank God. But we also felt we prayed for many, particularly elderly and people who had without power, those who passed away, their families lost their loved ones, that kind of thing. But we do learn a lot from this. I'm not going to take up the time to share, but there's learning experience to everything, and I think more importantly, God is always trying to tell you something. Always. Thank you, brothers. This is Mike.
Amen. Thank you, brother Mike, for that.
Yes,
Good morning,
brother.
brothers.
This brother Bass, I wanted to share something with you guys, and I was reluctant to talk about it, but I'm not at my home. I'm at my daughter's place, and we have busted pipes, and the water has not been turned on. We want to wait till it gets a little warmer, but there's another family that lives in my neighborhood, and they were having some work done, and we try to buy black, and we had a situation where this brother did some work for this black family, and we said, okay, we're going to help the brother out. But this guy overcharged us, man. He ripped us off, and we've had to pay $750 for 3 pipes. And, we have other people who are having work done, and they're getting 2 or 3 pipes for $200 or $300. And it saddened me that, we could have gone in a different direction, but we chose to deal with this brother. So, again, I was reluctant to share this because I don't want to sound like, we shouldn't do it, but, we should try to buy black whenever we can. But unfortunately, in this situation, this brother, he ripped us both off. I mean, this other family, he did the same thing with them. So you know, I think what you have to do is before you spend your money, you need to check and make sure that you know you're getting a good price. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you.
All right, thank
Man,
you for
Brother Bass, I
that.
think that he actually ripped himself off because what goes around comes around, you know, and um, you know your reputation will precede you, and it'll cut off his blessings in the future. So God is uh, God is not happy with that type of situation, that type of you know.
Yeah, and I'm gonna get to you, Tim, in a second. But Brother Bass, you know, to me, something a learning point, you know, that we can all take away from that is, you know, one, of course, it's always we never make the best decisions when we react off emotion because our cognitive skills are blocked. So even during a catastrophe, you know, it's always good maybe for us to, you know, still vet people. Because I mean, I know even for my uncle, I was just calling whatever plumber I could find. However, that might not be the right solution. You know, you could probably even come mess up more things. So, just the art of vetting people, you know, is good. And then, you know, maybe even word of mouth. You know, I don't know how you got that person's contact, but it's always good to, you know, have a trusted source. You know, that we can play. Hence is why we, you know, are sending out referrals from some of our trusted sources and plumbers. But thank you for sharing that, Brother Bass. Who is that next? Tim? Brother Tim, come on
Yeah.
in.
Yes, good morning to you, brothers. All right.
Good morning.
What I found out over these couple of days, brothers, which I didn't know, you know, once you lose power, if you have a gas stove, you know, you still have the uses of your stove. I didn't know that. We left here, our house,
Oh
we had lost
no.
power, went by another couple's house, and we got to their house, and we were there for about 2 hours, and all of a sudden their power went out. So he had a generator that he had bought from a brother that was moving, and come to find out that the generator had a carburetor problem, so that didn't work. So here we are at their house without power, and we have power at our house. And I think my wife mentioned something about a gas stove. And they said, you know what? You can use a gas stove when you don't have power. I said, really?
Mm-hmm.
I said, okay, I guess we can go, at least we can go to your house, come over here, and we can eat. We can cook food. So once we got here, you know, we started cooking and our power came on. And the couple that was with us, they received a call saying that one of the neighbors saw water coming from their house. So me and the brother, we left here and went to his house. Come to find out that an hour after we left, the pipe froze. I mean, the pipe was frozen and it busted. And in the kitchen, when we got there and we looked at the kitchen, there's a big gaping hole and stuff had just come down, you know, where we were a couple hours later. So they ended up staying over here for about 2 days until they were they were able to get their situation together. So two things I found out: that you can use your gas stove when you lose power, and we turned out being needing to be rescued, and and it ended up being we had to open up our home for them to stay for a couple of days. So God had already orchestrated that out, for it to work out like that.
Amen.
Wow. Wow.
Amen. Thank you for that. And
Thank you, Lord.
what I'm big on, right, is intellectual property, right? That's something you can't get or you can't access if you don't capture it in the moment. And so, you know, keep dropping these gems in the chat. And thank you, Mike, for going ahead and recording this because this would be good to use and have something to reference at the next whenever we have a next disruption. All right, let's keep it going. John, talk to me, my brother, John Davis.
Morning, brothers.
Good morning.
Can you all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, come on, John.
Morning. First of all, man, I just wanted to just say thank you for the leadership. We had a chat. I'm not sure how many brothers were in the chat, but it was a lot of leadership. Jay was keeping everybody informed, and then when brothers had different resources or contractors, they were putting them in the chat. So, you know, that is that's gold. That's gold when you're in crisis situations, but you have a community of brothers with different knowledges and experiencing different aspects coming together online. That's beautiful, man. So I think that is something that we definitely if we haven't expanded that, it definitely needs to be expanded in crisis situations, and just keep doing that. The two things that I've learned is one, listen to your wife. I ain't gonna lie, man. I am not gonna lie to you. Natasha told me, say, you wrap the pipes? And I said, yeah, they wrap. Because he had, wrapped over the years.
Yeah.
But I would have never thought, I wouldn't have ever thought it was gonna be like this. So, your wife, your team, right? Your wife might say some things and listen to your wife, man. That's one. The other thing that I learned, though, on a serious note, is 55 degrees. 55 degrees is the temperature in which your pipes will freeze. And so, Dewan, about leaking the pipes turn out, that's excellent. But also know, too, Doc, that if that rolling blackout, that's what caused so many households to dip under that point, and that's why our pipes start busting. So, like, if you're in a situation where it gets cold like that again, but you can prevent your house from dropping that low, just remember that's the danger point. I researched that and learned that as well. And then there was another one I had, but I just lost my train of thought. But again, I just want to just put shout outs to the brothers that were communicating in the chat, letting us know different statuses and different resources, and Jay once again providing that leadership, man. I appreciate it.
John, what was that temperature you said?
55 degrees. 55 degrees is when you're in danger for your pipes freezing and bursting.
Hey, John, check that, man. I think the freezing
No.
point of water is 32 degrees. You might want to check that.
Water doesn't freeze until it hits 32 degrees.
Yeah, it's 32 degrees.
Water, not the water, Doc. They were saying the pipes. Your pipes are susceptible to freezing and bursting at 55 degrees. Not the water, not the water, but the actual pipes itself.
Yeah, you might want to verify that, John.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's right, John, because the water is what makes the pipes burst.
Of the day, he's just putting a message out there that we should know a temperature, right? Y'all look at it while we're talking, but just drop it in the chat. But the thing is just kind of being aware.
I agree.
You know what I mean? And then the next thing, something else that I kind of learned as he was talking, is to open up your cabinets, right? They say we open up your cabinets, it allows some of that heat to get to those pipes that are in the wall. So that was something else that I learned as well.
Yeah, open your cabinets and let your water drip.
Yeah. Open the cabinets, let your water drip. Good. I see we have, if y'all don't mind, do me a favor. Once y'all talk, lower your hand if that's cool. Looks like we have Brother Hawthorne. You're on mute right now. You gotta unmute, my brother.
More of a comment, real quick.
No problem.
Did any of you have the experience of where my wife and I did, where the power would go off? Well, it stayed off for a period of 30 hours or so initially. Then it started coming back and it come on for a while, and then it go back out again. And then we started having an experience where the water would actually go out when the power went out. Did any of y'all have that experience? The power would come back on and the water would come back on.
Yeah, my power went out first, but then my water was still on actually.
Yeah, I experienced that as well. But then sporadically, it got eventually to the point to where each time the power went off, the water went out. And then when the power came back on, the water came back on.
Yeah.
And I thought that was so strange.
Yeah, I think that has to do with the grids, right? And so, maybe I should have kind of opened with this, but this is just organic conversation. But I think it starts with the grids, right? So apparently ERCOT is the supplier of all of, Texas, quote unquote.
ERCOT is a regulator.
Okay, regulators, whatever, right? They're the ones, in my mind, who dropped the ball. Because apparently if we wouldn't have instituted these blackouts, then we could have gone months without power. So eventually, I think there needs to be some dialogue around, there's people that need to be held accountable, because really this is unacceptable for the fourth largest city in the world to have that lack of leadership. But that's kind of another conversation for another day. And I know we kind of spoke on water. Did you all realize all of the boil warnings? And that's real. I actually got pictures where, I ran my water, I boiled it for maybe just a minute, and I saw all this bacteria and magnets still in the water. So that's actually real. So please make sure that you are not drinking or brushing your teeth with that water. Use bottled water.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody's online who is has a technical nature in terms of home building and structures of homes, and to what degree, if you have certain kinds of electrical systems that may be tied to your water supply. I don't know the answer to that question. So if anybody does, that would be helpful. Getting back to what you were asking, Ralph.
Ralph, it's possible because I kind of noticed that as well. It's possible that the water pumps could be on that same grid where they would go on and off as well. And so that could be a reason as to why you noticed when your power went off, your water shortly thereafter probably was off for a little bit. That could be the answer to that question.
Speaking of grids, does anyone you guys live in the same grid with the hospital?
That means your power didn't go off.
I'm thinking about moving to one. I didn't
find that out until this power outage. That if you live in the hospital grid, you don't lose power. I wasn't aware of that as well.
Hospitals also have backup systems. They also have backup generators.
Fire stations as well.
Yeah, this is Brother Bass. I'm actually staying. I'm staying in the medical center area, and where I'm staying, there's no power loss. They did have a water issue, but they fixed that. But we've had the power over here the whole time. Never went out at all. And like again, I'm in the medical center area, but no issues here other than yesterday the water
pressure.
Water pressure, but now today they're supposed to. We have cold water here. We don't have hot water, but today we're supposed to get some hot water. So it is advantageous to be near a hospital.
I have a general question regarding, frankly, generators. I know you brothers who have generators. I don't have one. I'm clearly thinking about investing in one, but I think it's a big price range. I'm not sure, I'm one of those folks that just don't know what I don't know when it comes to that kind of purchase. So,
it's dependent on how many. It's dependent on how many units you want.
There are different types of generators. You have the ones where everybody, you go buy, pour some gas in it, and you can plug in a few appliances. But then you have full house generators that sit on the side of your house that have switches that automatically switch on once your lights go out. They operate on gas, so it's not on the same source as your house would as electricity. Say, for instance, that's provided by CenterPoint. These operate on gas, and as soon as the power goes out with the electricity provided by CenterPoint, there's a switch that automatically switches, and that whole house generator kicks in, and it's as if you haven't, lost anything. So there's different types. Now, the Generac is a brand, Kohler is a brand that offers that whole house generator, and they're in the thousands, 5,000, 6,000. And that's just the generator itself. There's companies out there that come out because it still has to be properly installed. And this is a process where you don't want to cut any corners, because the installation of this generator is the most important part. So you definitely want to make sure you have a reputable company that's providing that particular generator and installing turnkey, and that they have, again, that you vet them very thoroughly to do that and to install a whole house generator. That's the route we're going now, already making plans, which would, again, allow you to have your whole house supplied with electricity in case once you have a situation where the grid goes out, your electric company has turned on power, you'll always be able to have a backup resource with a whole house generator.
Yeah, that's perfect. It's a lot of background noise. I think a lot of us are yet off mute.
Yeah, mute yourself if you aren't talking. Mike, drop them links for us, 'cause I know some brothers might be interested.
I would just add to Mike's comment that the install cost is almost as much as the generator itself. So you can just about double that amount to get an idea of what that estimate is going to be. And depending on the size of your house, you might go anywhere from 20 kW to 24 kW. So you're talking about, for some of you who have, a lot of money like Larry, you might be talking about a generator that might cost you about $7,000 or $8,000 plus another $5,000 or $6,000 of install. So you're talking $15,000 roughly. But there are ways to use large portables that are also run by natural gas, and you can probably cut that cost in half. But you're talking about something that's not quite as neat as a whole house generator that sits in a package on the side of the house.
Correct.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to go ahead, Doc.
Yeah, I was going to building on what Jay just said, and I'm sort of kicking myself a little bit because I actually had gone through the whole process and got an estimate done and everything, but told the guy to go. And yeah, the cost of the Generac device with the installation and everything, it doubled. But there's something you don't want to play with and get it done right. Now I'm a member of Costco, and so I can get the same device a lot cheaper going through my membership with Costco. And so I'm looking at that as well. But I've also found recently, and I can send it information on Amazon, they actually have a portable device. So it's not gas or anything. You just keep it charged. And it runs like about, I just bought 2 of them, and they run about $500. And you can put 7 units computers on their lights or whatever. And that will last as long as depends on how much voltage you have on it. So they're both supposed to arrive tomorrow.
And if you want to get really fancy, Larry, you can go with a Powerwall that'll run your house for about 7 days. That's the Tesla deal. It runs actually about the same amount of money, $15,000 to $20,000.
Yeah, you do something like that, you're gonna have a line of people at your house. Okay, so you can
yeah, and at the end of the day,
I was going to tell you
different prices. Go ahead.
Okay, I was going to tell you, I actually had a generator, so I actually had power over here. So, but mine's a smaller one. It's just like the 4300. But as long as you have a heater, it'll like heat your house. But my friend, he has the bigger generator, the ones that have the wheels on it, probably about 7,800 to 10,000 watts. It costs like a couple $100 more. And those are the ones you can hook up to your actual unit. So you can hook those up to your unit, and like he was running his whole house on it, and it'll run for like 10 to 12 hours. You know what I'm saying? As long as you have fuel, and mine only takes 4 gallons, so as long as you have some gas cans, it'll run for a couple of days. And those you can hook straight up to your actual furnace and all that, and your heating. So he was running his whole house for like 2 days.
Good. Thank you all for sharing. Now, while we're talking about generators, I don't know if some of you all saw this, or maybe people with generators can speak to it. However, there were a lot of people that set their house on fire by utilizing generator. I was actually reading one story where it's like the generator, like, I think it did a backlash. Basically, their power had came on. Well, the generator didn't work while the power was out. Then when it came back on, they were trying to fix it. And I don't know, it jammed or something and set the whole house on fire. This was in Galveston County. So maybe, do y'all know when to talk about some maintenance once you get a generator, or is that even such a thing?
Which type of generator do you know? Was it because like mine?
I don't have.
I've learned that people. What you say?
I said no. I don't know what kind it was. I didn't know.
Yeah, because I've learned
maintenance.
Okay, yeah, I've learned that like people who haven't been to cold don't really know, like, you know what I'm saying, that you have to have it like outside your house or away from your house. You know what I'm saying? Which is normal, you know what I'm saying? Like it's like this. If you haven't been to cold, you will know. You know what I'm saying? The same way like me, I like moving here, you know what I'm saying? And there was something I didn't know about seeing people try to start stuff in their house, not realizing that has to be away from your house because it gives off, you know what I'm saying, a carbon dioxide. And so people will probably dying from that. And it's like, it just depends. But if it's the one outside, if it doesn't cut off, I guess it could have a reaction. I mean, the big boys, because the small ones can't do that.
Rule of thumb.
I got some. There's one that's called a Duramax dual fuel, and it runs off of gas or propane. Propane runs longer, cheaper, and it's cleaner, and you don't have to worry about the carbon monoxide. But you still have to keep it outside. It's still kept outside, away from your house, but it runs off propane, and that's the one I'm planning on getting. And I'm going to just start it up with gas and let it burn through, and then I'm going to run it from then on with propane, so I don't have to worry about the gas or the carburetor blocking up or anything like that, because you're only going to use it once in a while. You know, that's the same thing I have a problem with my weed eater, lawnmower, with the old fuel in there. So if you get the propane, runs cleaner, you don't have to worry about the carburetor.
Amen. Amen. Thank you for that, Mark. Drop them links for
let me cut in for a minute, please.
Go ahead.
I came in a little late, so I've been pretty busy this morning, y'all. But what I was looking for is this. Jay, did you put a list of plumbers somewhere that I could access?
I did. I put it in a number of different chats. I tried to put it in Group Me. I tried to put it in the team leader chat.
Jay,
I also tried to put it in our leadership chat as well.
Just drop it in here real quick.
Archie, I'll send it to you. Is that what you're looking for?
I am. And another thing, I looked up. And thank you, Jay. I looked upstairs. I'm still out. I don't know if I know all of you guys have fully restored and blowing and going, but I went up in my attic and I can see the busted pipe that I have. But what I don't have is CPVC pipe and fittings. And now I'm broadcasting this, that if there's anybody has any or knows where I can get some, I like to get that information also.
Amen. Amen.
What size are you looking for?
Yeah,
I'm looking for 1/2 inch CPVC L's, T's, connectors.
How about length?
When? I can use it anytime, my friend.
No,
length.
The length of the
length. Oh, a joint. I can use one joint of 1/2 inch, and that might get me where I need to go.
Brother Woods, do me a favor and drop that in the chat if you don't mind. Just that size and everything you're looking for and your phone. That way, brothers can reach out if you don't mind.
I don't mind. I'll be happy to do it. Thanks.
Thank you for sharing that. Matter of fact, let's change this narrative. Anybody else? Are there any other brothers that might need a plumber or resource at this time? I know we're talking about things that we've learned, but let's talk about things we might need if possible. Tyrone, go ahead and talk.
Well, I just wanted to say, guys, that it's a lot of the things that Brother Woods are looking for. You probably may not find it in a Home Depot or Lowe's at this time. They may be in restock, but it's been so bad till when you go to try to find these parts, I mean, nobody's there to help you, even to direct you for what you need. And so what I did was I went to a plumbing supply place. You might be a little lucky, but even there, I went to Ferguson over off of West Green and I-10, and they helped me with some parts that I needed for my copper pipe. But at the same time, even their stock was very low, but it didn't have quite so much. In other words, you got somebody there that's going to help you, and it's not so clogged up with a bunch of people where you know nobody's there to help you. So that's how I got took care of my deal. And so, like I said, I know it's kind of hard trying to find something at a Home Depot or Lowe's, but you might be easier and quicker to go to a plumbing supply place.
Got you. Thank you, Tyrone. Drop that name in the chat for me if you don't mind.
Okay.
Post that name of the plumbing supply store that you mentioned, that you referenced.
Okay, sure.
Appreciate it. I see James Shepard hands up. James, go ahead and talk to us.
Yes, sir, Brother Dewan. Good morning, gentlemen. I just wanted to add a few things. I don't know. I guess I learned these many years ago. Let me just make sure. I lived with my grandmother for many years. Yes, we did use the gas stove to heat the house for 2 days using the burners. we still have three oil lamps. You know, they used to burn kerosene. I guess it's that scented oil that we use in them now. You know, with the wicks, you know, the kind you see on the cowboy movies, the old oil lamps, they sure come in handy.
Yes, sir.
They will light up your home, give you good light, one in each room, just in case, you know. I'm sure you gentlemen know where to get them. They still sell them. They're kind of expensive now, like antique stuff. You talked about filling the bathtub. Even today, even from what I learned from my grandmother, we never throw away our old Clorox bottles. We never throw them away. Once they're empty with just a few drops of Clorox left, we fill it up, put it in the garage. We always have water to flush the toilet, or you can drink that because you know it's going to be good water because just a few drops of Clorox was left in it. That's just an idea. So we are always going to have 20 bottles of Clorox in the garage in case of an emergency. And the last thing I wanted to say, I went to Kroger, I guess it was Tuesday or Wednesday morning. The only thing they had was distilled water, and everyone had passed by the distilled water thinking there's something wrong with it. Distilled water only tastes flat. You know, it's water that has been boiled already and the steam recaptured to make the water. So I just stocked up on the distilled water, and that's what I did. So I just wanted to add that, gentlemen, if you, especially if you didn't know about the old Clorox bottles. Thank you.
Amen. Thank you for those nuggets. As you were speaking, I was thinking about, I didn't have any flashlights. So actually went and spent almost $100 on flashlights because all they had were expensive ones. So for you people, I mean, I had to get a lot of flashlights. Anyway, let's keep it going. Billy, talk to us. Good morning, brother. You got to come off mute. Billy Copeland. If not, it's all good. We just come back and jump in when you're ready. Michael Robertson, talk to us.
Hey, good morning, brothers. I have a question concerning going from PVC to flex pipe, maybe like doing a repipe. And anybody have any information on that? I have an old house in Cashmere Gardens that's on cinder blocks, and it has some of it has galvanized and some of it's PVC. So I'm thinking, you know, maybe doing a repipe with something else. And anybody have any information on that?
Are you going away from the PVC?
Going away from the PVC to what they call PEX or something. I'm not really certain, but it's supposed to be some type of material that expands, that can maintain integrity when it gets really cold.
Really?
Yeah.
See,
I've been part of my house.
My mother down in Liberty, she had a pipe burst years ago, but it was old galvanized pipe, and they put in PVC. So I don't know about the new flex pipe and I'm interested if anybody does know, so I can get something down there for her. Like, she's the same way. She's on cinder blocks, and every time the weather changes like this, I get nervous for her down there. So
the good thing, Mike, is if you go to the newer systems, they have individual water circuits where you can shut off certain parts of the house.
Right.
And so if you're going to go through that exercise, you might want to just go a little bit further and get the full distribution system like they do on modern houses.
Yeah. It is called PEX pipe. I'll put a link in there that'll provide more information on PEX pipe, PEX pipe.
Right. Just to follow up, I wasn't really sure what it was, but I had two companies come out. One, the house is maybe about 1,300 square feet. The estimate was $12,000.
Oh wow!
And then another estimate was like $6,000. That's a big difference.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it just didn't make sense to me. So it's something I've got to research.
Keep getting estimates, because that's the way you also learn, right? By what different contractors say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Thank you, Mike. And again, if anybody has that answer, feel free to jump in. I see John, he posted something in the chat. So Mike, look at the chat for a couple of answers, please. Great question though. Great question. Okay, let's keep it going. Did I get to you, Reverend Archie Woods? Did you already go? Okay, cool. What about Gilbert Hopkins?
Yeah, good morning, brothers.
Go
I
ahead.
just wanted to just comment on the PEX pipe. I had my house repiped a few years back. And yeah, you do have to get different quotes because my quotes range from like 6,000 to 15,000. So I was fortunate enough to find a really good plumber. And the other thing that you have to consider is also the cost to re-sheetrock your house, because whenever they find the water faucets, they're going to cut holes in your sheetrock.
Yep.
And so you're going to have to find someone to replace that sheetrock and repaint and everything. And sometimes the plumbers will have someone who they can recommend. And then the last thing I want to say is I want to go back to what Brother Bass said. And I just want to encourage you, Brother Bass, because I've been in my house for like 37 years, I guess, going on 37 years, and I've used a lot of service providers. And I just want to encourage you to don't get discouraged. Continue to buy black, and I'm going to tell you why. During that period, I've had a lot of service providers, black, white, Hispanic, sometimes friends and associates, to do work at my house. And what I've found in that experience is that it's not so much the color of the skin, but the content of the character. I've had white men swindle me and gouge me. I've had Hispanic guys swindle me and gouge me. And I've had a few blacks swindle me and gouge me. But the brother who did my repiping, he was a good brother. He gave me a good price. He was fair. Whenever I needed, him to come back, to fix something, he did it. One of his guys in my garage, he stepped through my sheetrock accidentally, came through. He fixed it, no charge. And so I just want to encourage you, all of us, don't be afraid to buy black, because it's not so much the color of the skin, it's the content of the character. People are going to gouge you. I don't care what their skin color is. If they don't have a good moral sense and a good dose of God in them, they'll take advantage of you. So just wanted to share that experience. Just remember, if you replace the PEX, you also need a quote for replacing the sheetrock.
Great nuggets. Great job. Go ahead, Curtis.
Yeah, I think that's building off of what Brother Gilbert just said. The bottom line, no matter who we're getting services from, you got to do your homework. You need to ask for references and those kinds of things and check things out just to make sure that you're dealing with somebody with integrity and credibility and a track record as well, kind of deal, versus just trusting them from that view.
Amen. Appreciate that.
And one thing about the repiping, a lot of the guys, companies that do the repipe, they'll put that the sheetrock work within the bid, so you get one-stop shop rather than trying to get a plumber and going out and getting a sheetrock guy. Get it all done in one swoop. That's how I did mine.
That's helpful. Thank you for that. Okay, Brother Michael Johnson, come on in. Good morning.
Good morning, brothers. Good morning. Just got a question. I'm going to need an electrician. And the reason why is that I'm planning on getting a generator, but I don't want to run the generator through a window or through the doors, because I'll let the heat in if it's cold, or let the cold heat out if it's cold, and vice versa in the summertime. So what I want to do is have the generator plug into my circuit breakers. So that way I can control what I want it to power up. So if I want to go ahead and power up the heater or AC system, or I want to power up, I'll just click off any of those switches that I don't want to heat up for the house. So that way, it makes it a little safer. So I need an electrician to go ahead and do that. Also, if you do connect it to your circuit breakers, you also have to make certain that you cut off the main circuit so that the electricity doesn't leave your household. So you're making just an enclosed system within your house using a generator. So if you guys know electrician, please let me know.
Good. Thank you for that. And this is just a side note, probably for the leaders, Jay. And I really I'm a networker, so I think it would be advantageous if we do just get a list of refers based on, people who, had good experience, from plumbers, from electricians. That way we can have a list of kind of trusted sources. Go ahead, Tyrone.
I just wanted to say, I mentioned that I in this cold spell when we didn't have electricity, I actually have a 8,000 watt generator, and I used to use it on the construction site many times when we didn't have power to work on the job. So those 8,000 watt generators, if you just run many times a heavy duty line, there is a place on there that you can run a heavy duty line. I got a 220 and I got four 110 connections on it. And I know I'm just like for this time, I just ran actually a 12 gauge extension cord really into the house and put me some T's on the end of it. And I plugged in electric heater, a couple of electric heaters, and I also hooked up my television where I could keep track of what was going on, that type of thing. And it worked fine for me, but I'm just saying those are just dropping out some seeds that might help somebody.
Amen. Thank you for that, Tyrone. All right, Brother Tim, come on back. Talk to me, brother. Or is that from earlier? Tim Whetstone, is that from earlier?
Oh, no, I just had a thought when someone was saying about someone hired someone and they gave him an overestimate. I just thought, does it make you guys feel some type of way when you hear about people trying to take advantage of people when they have certain situations? It seems like whenever there's a disaster, there's always those who try to take advantage of those just to make money, and it kind of makes you feel some kind of way. And I know, especially the older people, when they try to take advantage of them. So, do you guys feel that way as well?
Good morning, brother.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, no doubt. A predator is a predator, man. Unfortunately, it's a lot of them out there, whether they're preying on the elderly or somebody that's misfortunate. But I don't like it, but we got to remember to pray for them. And, you know, I don't think there's nobody on this call that hadn't had a situation happen where somebody might have taken advantage of them. However, I try to pray for them and just know that that's between them and God. And sometimes when they take advantage of you like that, man, they might need that a lot more than you. I know that's hard to even think about. You got to listen to the Spirit. You got to do your best to not let that happen. We just got to pray for them, man. But yeah, Tim, that really bothers me, especially with the children and women and elderly. But
Can I have a word? I've been listening all morning. I'm in that situation now, man, where a guy wanted to charge me $350 to check a pipe that I have a leak in my kitchen. So I had the sheetrock cut out. And do you know he still wanted to charge me $250 to do a 5-minute job?
Come on, man.
I'm serious. And then came back, well, a guy that did some work for me before, he looked at the situation. He talking about $800. I told him if he didn't get his out my house. See, and you have to be, and I'm like, I don't try, like, let me tell you something, man. It's hard and I want to support black business. I'm with Bass now. I believe in my black people and black business, but it's not all about the black business. But all I need is and guess how much the part? The part don't cost them but $2.23.
That's right. That's right. It's
if
cheap.
I can get the parts myself, I could do the job. The hardest part for me is to get the part. If I can get the part, I got people now looking to try to help me get the part. But man, let me tell you something now. People out here are gouching, man. Get them folk name. All that praying for them, and I understand that too. But when you in a crisis, now this real talk. Now we men, this real talk now.
You're right.
Don't let folk beat you, even though I got the money to do it. What I look like a fool giving you two, and then what he told me, man, it ain't it's a business thing. I told him, I said, well, look here then. Well, do me this favor. Sell me the parts then. So he said, okay. I guess how much now the part I told you cost. Well, one I cost 97 cents, the other by $2. All I need is a 90 degree elbow and 2 half-inch couplings. And he gonna charge me now. He say, I charge you $20. I done bought them parts 3 times. From a black man now. You get what I'm saying? But the point is, man, with all this going on, man, just be careful out there. Everybody running the game. And that's where that spirit of discernment come in at. For every brother on the line, that's where your spirit discernment come in at. You have to be every job ain't a rush job. Some things you can do without until you're able to get the proper people in there to fix the material or fix whatever you need.
Yeah, wait if you can.
Yeah, because when you rush, you lose it. Like Bad say, $750. When this man came, if I show y'all the square that it was cut in my house, okay, he said $800. And boy, you know me, I was getting ready to go to work too. I said, look, Claire, just get your little stuff and get on out of here. I said, you got to be a fool. You think I'm finna give you $800 and you finna do a 5-minute job and you ain't gonna cut them but a 2x8 square of sheetrock. Now you think that's worth $800?
No, but this is more of Jay. Why I'm saying we need to get our running list of trusted resources. That way we can try to alleviate some of that. But thank you, brother Mark Lane, for that. Let's move on to Nelson Wilson. Good morning, brother. Talk to us.
I was at the hospital the whole time, and basically the only thing we had a backup like generator the day I was built like a couple months ago, and our light stayed on, but we lost water, and the pipes did bust, and we was out of water for like a couple hours, but they had the people came up there fast and fixed it because we had like a full house because people was retrieving to the hospital more because the people was coming to the hospital, and then a lot of patients was asking me, "You been here since Sunday?" I said, "Yeah, I've been here since Sunday, working." And I was thinking, God, I was safe and warm, and my wife was the lights didn't turn off in our apartments, pipes didn't bust, and the lights were still on, and I was just praying, and I felt like everybody was coming together in the hospital, helping each other. Nobody was not getting mad until the end, because people was taking care of the patients, people was having compassion, and people was praying. I was like, oh, a lot of people was praying, and a lot of people was talking to their families. At that time, it seemed like everybody was coming together, and really caring, and not just seeing it as like a paycheck to paycheck, taking care of the patients, and the older people and the elderly, and that's what I was seeing in the hospital. It been a while. You'll see a person, a nurse, and a doctor have a capacity. Are you okay? Are you all right? You feeling comfortable and all that stuff? Because sometimes they just get their paycheck, don't care, and just leave, and that's why I seen of all this happen, people was coming together, helping people.
Yeah, man, I agree. And it's great to see that when catastrophes happen. However, we need that same energy all the time. Good. Okay, so it looks like I hit everybody with their hands up, which is cool. Again, before we roll this thing on over, is there? Oh, go ahead, brother Harton.
Again, real quick. Back to generators. I would say, and then we segued into this conversation about people taking advantage of other people. For those who have the portable generators, is there a risk for someone to come by and lift your generator from you? I know that in some of the major cities. Okay, I know that in some of the major cities, even the churches were losing their air conditioners units to people who were stealing.
There's a risk, of course. However, best thing to do is have it in your backyard if you can. Hopefully your backyard's fenced in, where nobody can get down easy. You can get it down as well. That's another thing. Just remember, guys, any kind of generator, I don't care what it is, just please keep it outside. We have lost so many people over this week to carbon monoxide from not just generators, but from any type of exhaust needs to be outside. So from cars and other ways people have been dying this week. So please remember that nugget. Of course, for the generator, you're trying to save. Of course, you're trying to plug in your heat, but you're trying to save your refrigerator as well. Your food. But remember also, if in this extreme cold, I did was I took food out. Okay. I placed it in the garage. Actually, it's just sitting in the garage on the floor. It was colder in the garage than it was in the refrigerator. So that's just a nugget. That's just a country thing, just to help y'all out.
I put it in the cooler and then I put it in the garage.
Well, I didn't do a cooler.
That ain't just country.
I just set it on the table in the garage. I mean, it was 15 degrees. I'm good with that. But
hey, brothers, just in terms of the agenda, so we're going to take about another 10 minutes or so, plus or minus. And then we're going to be closing for prayer. If you could start to put whatever you may have in terms of prayer requests in the chat, that would be great. And then, like I said, about 10 plus or minus minutes left, and then we'll move on.
I got you. We'll be done at 8:40. I got you.
But to Ralph's point,
hey,
yes, they can't. So just protect them yourself. Backyard, pin them down, things like that.
Hey man, go ahead, Mike.
Hey guys, this is Mike. Real quick, don't forget to utilize your insurance carrier as much as you can. Don't forget to do that. It may have to wait, but you can get so much for food spoilage and so forth, and all kind of benefits. If you're paying that premium, it's good to check with your agent and see what what you need to do. Don't go without doing that.
Yeah, I would recommend check with your agent rather than just filing a claim.
Yeah.
Check with them first.
You're still in my jewel I was going to end with. So like Richard said, definitely check with your agent. However, a lot of insurance companies are actually giving $500 food vouchers because a lot of people lost food. And with some insurances, your claim is approved within a day. And it's just really easy to go online. And a lot of them actually have it up there waiting for you. So I just applied for mine. I got a lot of friends who did theirs. They've already gotten their checks. So again, like Richard said, check with your agent. However, if you're with a larger company, a lot of times you go to the website and log in, a lot of them are just approving it and you'll have it within 1 to 2 days.
Hey, I want to also add that because with your insurance, there's a deductible. And you got to be careful with companies out there that come out, especially like water remediation. They'll come in and they'll say that, okay, the only thing you have to give us is your deductible and we'll go ahead and get started. So you're going to have to be very, be leery, just be overly cautious and, treat everyone at arm's length when it comes to having to give up money, give up large sums of money as it pertains to the process of repairing your home. Just be leery. The other thing I want to share is as costs are going to, you're not going to be able to get around the deductible, but there may be ways you can help with the deductible. Give you a prime example. Our insurance will cover up to $25,000 on our claim, but we still have to cover the deductible. How much is your company? I was able to find out with my company, they offer assistance, whether it be a grant or they offer an internal low interest loan. So you may be some opportunities to help offset some of your costs out of pocket through your company that you work for. So just be able to inquire different ways to be able to help with some of those costs.
Amen. Yeah. And I'm sure insurance people on the phone. All right, come on. We got 6 more minutes. I see 2 more new hands. Brother Hal, how you doing, my brother? Good morning. You're on mute. Unmute yourself, please.
Oh, okay. Yeah, good morning. One comment I would like to make. I've always had a medium-sized freezer in my garage. And during this time when my power was out, all the food stayed frozen. So I just wanted to just pass that on. The people that that do not have, lost food and stuff, maybe consider a freezer.
That's
and another thing, you can freeze water and put in your freezer, and the food will stay longer also.
That's a good one. I didn't think about that one. See, I love wisdom. Okay, come on,
Wait,
Bob.
one more nugget here for me. Rainwater. If you notice during that time when the snow was melting, I took a water cooler and held it underneath where some of the water was coming out or dripping off the house, and allow that water to be built up in the cooler because, again, I had to turn the water off when we had the pipe leak. So to use that water for to flush the toilets because we had no water. So there's some resources, natural resources out there. As the snow is melting, raining, you can get some coolers, allow those coolers to be filled up with the rainwater to be used at a different time.
That's a great point. Appreciate that, Mike. Okay, Billy.
Okay, good morning. Good morning, brothers. I wanted to explain something to you. During the freeze, my heat went off, and a few hours later, maybe about 4 hours, I went out to try to check to see if my water was running. So I turned on all the faucets in the house, and they were all frozen. So I said, I better go find the cutoff valve inside the house in case I had to cut it off if water starts leaking through the ceiling. So when I got to the cutoff valve, it was frozen. I had to rock it until it came loose. But when it came loose, all the water started running to all the faucets. So I just shut it down and I let it drip after that. But I think it's very important that everybody know where their cutoff valves are. I have one inside of my house and I have one outside. But apparently the one inside the house was frozen, and it didn't allow the water to build up pressure inside the pipes, or else they would have probably busted.
That's great. Yeah. Great nuggets. Yeah, definitely know where that valve is. All right, we got.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead. We got 3 minutes.
All right. Yeah, I was gonna say two things. First thing, I think y'all need to check y'all's your power people, whatever saying, providers, because they say some people, if you with the wrong company right now, people paying thousands for the electricity because when the rates go up, it's been jumping up. Like me, I'm on a set rate, but some people on like a flexible rate, so their power might charge them $2 per watt instead of the 12 cents per watt. So now people are paying thousands when the power comes on. And the second thing I learned from this, when I got the boil water and when they said our water might cut off this, as long as you got gas for your stove to come on, I actually realized that people all pass over the ice at the store. So what I did, actually went in there and bought a whole bunch of ice bags, you know what I'm saying? And then my plan was actually to melt the ice to actually use that to actually flush my toilets and stuff like that. But they, you know what I'm saying, I got my water and cut off, but everybody passed over the ice in the store to melt that and use that. So you can always use ice.
Hey, Dewan.
Go ahead, Richard.
Hey, I just want to say, in terms of insurance for everybody, is that if you just do a lot of claims, make sure that it makes sense for you to file a claim. If your deductible is really high and you file a claim, it may not be worth it. So check with your insurance agent. That's what I would just recommend for everybody to do. And if you don't have a working relationship with your agent, call me.
There we go. Yeah. So if you need insurance, we got that. We got a lot of resources here. All right, cool. Well, looks like I got to everybody. Thank you, brother.
No, I got one more, brother.
Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, thanks. I had a sprinkler system that broke and water was spewing everywhere. And it was, I don't know, it must have been about 30 degrees when it happened. And I couldn't find the cutoff, But what I didn't realize, I had insulated that piece and the cutoff is right on the sprinkler. So it took me about 15 minutes. I had to call somebody to come out. And I had to call somebody, they told me where it was. But that was just something that's real simple that I didn't know that everybody should know about the sprinkler system. And then secondly, anybody I could call to repair that? Or is that something you think is repairable that you've done in the past? I don't know if it's the bell or it's the joint And I guess that's that backflow. I don't know what they call that piece that
It's
comes out.
probably that whole U shape.
Yeah, the whole U shape thing.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
That valve is the first thing that'll go, Doc. Go ahead,
Yeah.
Jay.
No, I was gonna say, it is something you could probably do yourself.
Yeah,
but,
I do.
But sprinkler contractors actually don't charge a whole lot to replace that. At least not some that I've run into. So you could probably, the valve itself is roughly about 40 to $50, I think. And the job itself can be done for under $100 typically, depending on the sprinkler contractor. So you could do it yourself. You might save $50, but I can tell you it's probably going to take you 3 or 4 times longer than it's going to take them.
Okay.
I would suggest that we use YouTube. I use YouTube to teach me how to do a lot of stuff around the house. And
Yeah, I
you
try
can
to do
save
that,
yourself a lot of labor costs and insurance. That deductibles are higher. And I use YouTube for 90% of the repairs I do around the house.
Okay.
Yeah, amen. Well, look, again,
All right, thanks, man.
it's been a pleasure, brothers. We're trying to build resilience. And so with that, you know, hey, let's continue to share the knowledge, share our resources. Thank you, everybody who chimed in. Thank you for dropping those nuggets in the chat. And just remember, hey, we're in this together.
Thank you for watching. If you would like to join one of our live sessions, then please go on Facebook, type in Momentum Men's Ministry, and like the Momentum Men's Ministry that has the gold M as its symbol. It will allow you to be able to get updated information daily or weekly about our live next session, as well as some encouraging information. So join us every Saturday at 7:30 a.m. Central for the TCWW Momentum Men's Fellowship. Also, watch us on Facebook, Instagram, or live.tcww.org for live worship each Sunday at 8 a.m., 10 a.m., and 12 p.m. Log on to the churchwithoutwalls.org for all church events, announcements, and giving. Thank you for listening, and I pray you have a blessed day. In Jesus' name, amen.